Faith Reloaded. It's your boy Jonathan Tackett here to help you load your clip and spray the script. So today I want to talk to you about when should you share the gospel, because as believers it's our call and our duty, right, to evangelize and proclaim the gospel to all the nations. But when is that appropriate? And I heard it said like this one time. I think it makes it really relevant. Is you must really hate somebody for you to hold the truth to eternal life and not share it. So I think the question, when should you share the gospel, should actually be rephrased to, you should always be sharing the gospel. Why? Because the gospel is the good news. The gospel is what brings people to God eternally, forever. That's your peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. That is eternal joy. So I like to look at 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 5. Now, my man Paul wrote this. My man Paul, this is the last letter he ever wrote. The dude is an absolute gangster, and he wrote it to his disciple, the one that he raised up to take his place one day. And he said this. He said, "As for you, always be sober-minded, endure suffering, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry." So when should you share the gospel? Always. Always. Do the work of an evangelist. Always be sober-minded. Always endure suffering. Always be an evangelist. Always fulfill your ministry. Now, you're thinking, yo, Jonathan, like, I'm just a student. Or, yo, Jonathan, I have an office job. Yo, I don't do ministry. No, ministry is not a job title. Ministry is a lifestyle. And I think that's where the disconnect is. You think ministry is only for the work of the missionary. No, ministry is for the work of those who call themselves Christians, because Christian means little Christ. And so if you're saying you're a Christian, then your daily activity should be walking out like Christ walked. And what did he do? He was the embodiment of love, of the word, of truth. And so if you call yourself little Christ, your job title is ministry. Despite being a student, despite working in the office, just maybe working at church, if we are called to love, and true love is knowing the truth to eternal life and sharing it. So when to share the gospel is always. How to share the gospel is easy. We're going to talk more about that. It doesn't have to be that deep. Man, God's only Son provides everlasting life. So go forth, share that truth, and proclaim the gospel to all the nations. Go forth, do great things, walk in faith.